So when you jump in the build a fort, this is pretty much what's going to look like. You're going to show 4 different forts, each fort for each individual player. So when you get here, you have to create your own fort. So you kind of go here, make sure you withdraw everything from the storage, because this is all they're going to give you. This is all they're going to give you to use on your fort. And then once that's in there, just make sure you got it. So first thing I like to kind of consider is that I think that each individual player is going to have different mats or different materials. So I just kind of want to say, which one do you feel like you're going to get the most out of, and so you want to focus on that. So me, I kind of looked at these a little bit earlier, and I felt like I was going to be able to get more ceiling gas traps. So I'm going to build as many gas traps as I can. And then I think I'm able to get a couple of floor traps. Let's get some wooden ones. I think I just need 4 of those. And then we're going to go ahead and get some wall dynamos and some wall darts. So while that's constructing, I already kind of thought of a build that I think would be suitable. So to kind of go over this, how I'm going over this build is that I'm looking for something that's versatile. So we want to have something that's able to be very open, so that you're able to jump in and out to defend the fort, because mostly what you're going to be doing is killing them before they get to the fort. So once you kind of get that configured, once you kind of have that configured, you kind of go from there. Let's see here. We want to, yes. So right now I'm just kind of building a wall everywhere right now. I'm building this in a couple different layers. The interior is going to be metal because I don't want it to. I want this to be the hardest thing to get. One thing you're going to notice is that when you start playing Horde mode, you're going to get different kinds of missions. And what I mean by different kinds is that once in a while you might get a mission that's all about smashers. You might get a mission that's all about the laser Slenderman guys. And you also might get some missions that are all about the fucking lobbers, which I hate the most. So this base right here is an idea of on all of those that I think is best suited. So right now is that I have these stairs set up is because this is what smashers are going to go through, is that if they see something that's not a flat wall, they're not going to smash through it. So they're not going to charge and smash through this, and so they're going to come over here and start banging on the stairway. Instead of doing that, when they start banging on the stairway, I like to have my gas traps ready to go. So basically the gas will start coming through and start hurting the husks from so on. So I already kind of have that configured right there how I want it. So I'm gonna hop out, go from there. So now I have this basically 3x3 tile base set up right now. And so this is where they're going to go for further into it. So this is going to be the fun part. So now we're going to start using the brick, and we're going to add some more extra layers to it. I haven't went fully testing on this yet and kind of configured what's the best way to do it, because I still feel like those lower, like right now I'm doing this, I feel like smashers will still want to charge to it, which I don't want to happen. So just kind of take this in consideration. I still think that the first startup right here is still the best way to go about it. No. I want to get rid of that. Okay. And then I'm going to place my wall traps because this is what the husks are going to be banging on. And I'm going to upgrade them while I'm at it too. I'm not sure if I really want to upgrade them to full tier. but I think I might be. I might just wait just a little bit. Now our main concern is the interior. So basically, these are still flat walls that the husks can still get through, and we don't want that. This right here I'm going to do with wood because it's not needed to do brick because no one's going to hit that area other than, you know, the fucking lobbers, which are the worst. If you get a lobber mission, that's the worst part about them. So I noticed that I only have about 3 gas traps, and what I want to do is put some gas traps up here, so in case of any husks right here banging on it, then that will take care of them. So I'm not too sure if this really works out the way it is, but there are some arrows, and these arrows are pointed in certain directions, and I feel like that these help indicate on how your base is set up, because I noticed that my base doesn't really go on all 4 tiles. I haven't seen this go on 2 separate tiles, or I definitely have not seen it go on a particular area in the Horde map. So I feel like this helps indicate where the husks are going to come through, or are going to come from, and how they're going to get to you. So with that idea, we want to go ahead and just place a couple of traps based on that. So I'm going to focus a lot more of my traps in those areas. So now, Jesus Christ, I wanted brick. So we got brick here. So those are where I feel like that's where we're gonna get a couple of them. Maybe right over here too. Now here's the crazy part. So now we're gonna put even more layers to it. So now we have this option. And so when the husks do come through, they're gonna get gassed, but they have to go through 2 layers before they can even touch the wall. Like, yeah, I think they could get to this, but they're gonna focus more on this and this until they hit that, or that's what I believe that's gonna happen. If you guys kind of figure anything else, just kind of let me know. So I still don't feel like this completes the whole. You know, smashers could still get on your wall set up. So what I like to do is I want to make sure that the smashers don't get here. So remember when I was telling you about I want versatility. So it's flea throwing and able to move, but most of the time you're going to be shooting all the time, trying to destroy all the, kill all the husks. So this right here will keep from smashers charging from a corner. Also, you're able to get on top of this and jump on here to get on the base. Back to what I was saying about free throwing. I also see myself a lot getting on these. Getting on high ground areas to start shooting people, because I have the Dragon's Roar, so I like to aim at a lot of husks and get different angles at them and shoot from afar. So I think this is good to have a little bit of railing here, so no one falls off or anything like that, but you're able to aim down or whatever. Same thing over here, in case of anything somehow gets on, or tries to somehow get up here. I want to make sure everything's railed up, because you still have the option to jump over here. So we're gonna do that same idea. We want to make sure it's not touching the base, because I think that not the lobbers, but the husks can walk on there. So now we have that. Okay. So I have a couple wall darts, wild dynamos, and also retractable floor spikes. So this is mainly what they're going to be focusing on, because that should be the easiest way for them to get through. So I want to make sure all that's kind of layered out. Same thing with the darts. So I'm also looking at my arrows where I'm expecting a lot of these, these husks to come from. I'm also going to spam the floor with a little bit of wood because during the mission, some of my fellow teammates may think it's good to place some traps on the floor. So the wood's already there for them in case there is. I still got a couple of floor traps that I can use. So what is the best way to take effect of that? So that's where we kind of have to figure out what is the best scenario for this, because that's all I have is 2 floor traps. Trying to think what's the best way to make sure. There's only 2 ways to go. I don't know how I built twice there, because I still feel like they can come here. To make it look cool, I guess I'm going to do that. Honestly, I think I can pretty much put that on 4 different things. I'm just worried about husks getting on there. This also gives you a little bit of versatility to kind of move around and shoot a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. This is still kind of trial and error, but I think this is a really great base setup for people to try out. If you try this exact setup and this makes you feel like it's a great setup, please let me know in the comments. So I'm going to place one right here, and I'm going to place one right here, assuming that they're going to come to the corner. So this right here I think is a really great setup. Yeah, it seems very all over the place. But the idea is that the husks are going to only come through over here. There may be some that may come through over here and get through the corner. Also, when I kind of talk about the strategies a little bit, I'm going to talk about, what's going to happen from there and there. There may be something I don't want here. Because we don't want anything to, like a lobber gets tossed, like the guy that throws the husks over here and then gets on that. So I feel like this is the best setup based on what are the kind of monsters are going to go through. So the biggest thing this does not really affect or can't really fuck with is the fact that there are lobbers that can destroy that it can damage your base. So that's where I want the middle area to be metal, because that's where you don't want most of the damage to come from. Also, there's so much stuff for the target and so many things that could hit. Hopefully that takes care of that, so you don't have any issues. The railway is to keep from smashes to come through. This has 3 layers for husks to go through. This has 3 layers for husks to go through. So there's a bunch of different layers for the husks to go through if they really do get close to your base. Also versatility that pretty much I have nothing blocking me other than the fact that I don't have much sight once a husk gets through. But like I was saying, most of the time you're going to shoot and kill husks from the distance from your base. So hopefully this keeps everything intact, and when most things are based on time and how many times you kill husks, this should be a big enough defense to hold it down while you're finishing up the rest of the mission. So I feel like this is a great base style, so much versatility, so much defense, so much, use of materials. If you think of a better build, definitely let me know in the comments. I'm more than welcome to kind of, showcase it for some folks. Just want to be here as helpful as possible. And it looks like there's a little kind of a tunnel way too, so that is still kind of a lot of movability. But Yeah, definitely let me know what you think about this. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about what is the best strategy and what is the best way to fight the horde mission.